It's Nolan.
Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show.
I do this for the underrated, understated, beating the pavement. They say I'm amazing. Well, I came up watching the greatest. It was drug related, but I'm switching up the trajectory. These rappers be my kids. I'm considering a vasectomy. Learn to listen respectfully, incredibly known. I don't honor your contracts unless we etch them in stone. They sent me the throne. Your actions I could never condone. I'm on a level you can't touch until they study my bones. Intelligence and for relevance, I keep it elegant to represent the spitters like I got a speech impediment. I go for jugglers. All of these bars serving the beer like local hustlers. If everyone's selling, who be the customers? 10 minutes done with a verse, killing your album. Just imagine what could happen if y'all could book me for hours. I'm truly empowered, Polynesian, dealing with the sweet and the sour. I cook rappers, royal team in the flower. It's Nolan. If you don't know me, just know that I'm pulling 30 feet from Curry Deep. I give them the third degree. I'm so hot, I'm on third degree. About to lock in my third degree. Every bar's a murder scene. I don't call for your courtesy. I'm on point like it's surgery. Had homies that turned on me, now I'm turned up. Elevated, they retrograded, dealing with Mercury. Get served up. Never let them stick to my words. I keep minors from the major, shot of injured reserves. Don't be surprised if you see me in furs. Drinking Fiji, I'm switching gears like a Mitsubishi. That gold pen and I'm rocking, boy, that's a Nefertiti. Feeling superb, swinging swords like a Mitsurugi. Y'all herbs, I go in and out, pulling different routes, fully figured out the science. I'm applying baking soda, watch them fizzle out. Anthrax message and text soon as I send them out. Ask for a collab, now they questioning for your whereabouts. I am out. Jay the kiss of death, killing with that bad dope. Walter White, crystal meth. Women hear these flows, then they pirouette. Silky with the silhouette. Everybody copy fighting games like a mirror match.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there this evening. In this video, we're going to be getting into Benny the Butcher. I hope y'all know who Benny the Butcher is. He's been around for a long time, over a decade in this game. Griselda, you know, he's done records with a lot of people in the game. So hopefully you know who I'm talking about. If not, look him up. Just listen to some of his music. He's a pretty good rapper. You know what I mean? He's dealt with the Shadys of the world, the Rock Nations of the world, the Drakes of the world when Drake was still in style. He's got records with, I think he's done some stuff with Jid before. A lot of stuff. Anyway, Benny the Butcher is having some trouble, I guess, wrapping his mind around the fact that the streets are not dictating hip hop. You get what I'm saying? And he put a video out within the last couple of days that's gone super viral on social media, voicing this very sentiment, right? He says that the nerds are running the game, and that's why there's so much goofy shit going on, is because the nerds took over the game and the streets no longer dictate what's happening. The voice of the streets is no longer valid. Therefore, it's a free-for-all, okay? Now, I have quite a few thoughts on this subject matter, but before I get into my personal thoughts, I want to go ahead and just play Benny the Butcher's video so you can see for context where I'm coming from.
Hey, yo, y'all see what state the game is in when the streets don't hold the culture of the game? Now that the weird Twitter nerds and the nerds and all of these weird motherfuckers got, you know what I mean, they got their hands on the culture. The voice of the streets don't mean as much as it did when we was coming up. There was a lot of cons to that as well. You know what I'm saying? I gotta say that, but you see what happened when the streets, you know what I mean, don't control the game no more. It's a lot of fuck nigga shit going on, man. And a lot of people's okay with it because they're fuck niggas, man. Hey, yo, y'all see what state the game is in when the streets...
All right. So that's Benny the Butcher, okay? Now, let me go ahead and remove myself from the corner before I get into this. Now, the first thing that comes to mind as I watch this video, and this is not a personal jab at Benny the Butcher. I'm actually a fan of your music. You're actually my favorite out of the Griselda squad. You know what I'm saying? But as I look at this video, I see a man who I believe is 40 years old, older than me, I see his chain is a Pyrex, uh, you know what I'm saying, cylinder, whatever the fuck this shit is, container, Pyrex container with baking soda crack in it, talking about the streets don't dictate what's going on in the game. Now, I would love to know what the purpose of making your chain a Pyrex container. I understand its significance to the streets and baking soda crack. We've known that for 3, 4 decades, what that's about. But that's a stamp that you wear every day of your life or whenever you want to show out. That's where we could tell you that the values are misconstrued. Gotta be honest. Who better to tell you than another artist, another rapper? Okay? Now, interestingly enough, for Benny the Butcher to be at this place, and he's been kind of voicing these sentiments for a while. Every couple weeks, months, he has some sort of weird outburst on social media where he's basically just not happy with the way that things are going. And it always strikes me that this guy must not know who his fans actually are. Okay? Uh Newsflash, Benny the Butcher. Although the streets definitely were more significant in the 80s, the 90s, even maybe a portion of the 2000s, but not so much. The streets have never run what's going on with hip hop. Okay? The streets may have dictated what the rappers wanted to rap about. That still is a part of the game. That reflects itself in the lyrics that the rappers write down on pages and go in studios and lay down. They emulate the gangster shit, even if you don't come from that, which, again, has always been there. But as far as the fans, as far as the infrastructure, the business side of the game, street people never really ran that. Unless you want to say Russell Simmons was some type of street nigga. You know, when Def Jam was first brought into existence. But outside of that, nah. Now there's always been street niggas with little rinky dink ass labels that could find a nigga with talent and put him under the wing and steal his fucking money, extort him for the next 10 years. Motherfucker be hot as fish grease, but all they money getting taken, they publishing getting stole, and by the time they not hot no more, they back working at Safeway. There's always been stories like that with the streets involved. But your fans have never been street. At the height of so-called gangster rap, the reason why it made it up to Congress and the president trying to boycott rap music was because their kids were buying the music, buying the albums, buying the merch, asking for tickets to go to the shows. That's why the shit jumped off the way it did. Please believe, if hip hop was exclusively black, street orientated, all the way down to the fans, this shit would have never took the fuck off. Because one thing for sure is black people, for the most part, will say, oh, that nigga fly, they cool, but they not gonna do the financial part of it. Because then they gonna start saying, nigga, you look too much like me. For the most part, not this, because I know a lot of y'all buy music over here. But overall, you get what I'm saying? Like, and I can say this even from experience, especially in my days of really beating the pavement as an artist, going out here, going from city to city, city to city, doing the venues, doing the shit, trying to meet motherfuckers. I've been damn near the same nigga the whole time. You know what I'm saying? The raps y'all hear on these intros, I'll be like, damn, that nigga nice. Been that the whole time. You get what I'm saying? And I was going to all the black cities. The colleges I went to was black. The people I was around, all black. You know what I'm saying? And there was a reverberating theme that I would hear from people to say, you need to be hitting up them white universities. You need to be tapping in to them white boys on the internet. You need to be tapped in with this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the people that are going to probably more than likely be your fans for life. When you look around, you see the people at most of these shows, even Benny the Butcher, the ones who's rabid, walking around with Griselda tatted on them and all that shit. A lot of it be the white boys. Look at Wu-Tang. You know how many white boys got fucking Wu-Tang tatted on them? I'm sure there's also some black people with it as well. But you saying the nerds are running this shit? The nerds have always been the biggest supporters of the most so-called gangster niggas in this shit. You know, it's revisionist history. Now, at one point, the more street-oriented artists were able to have a stronger impact. But let's get to that. As a nigga who actually lived through this shit, listened to this music for a living, studied it. I keep telling niggas, and one day people are gonna listen to me, is the reason why certain people took off and others didn't, that were actually able to get to the bare minimum of having a record deal and having a support system, is having records. The best rapper never wins if he don't got the records. Okay? If a rapper is dope and got the records and don't got the story, you might catch a couple, but you ain't gonna connect all the way. When people talk about that it factor, that magnetism, some people just have a captivating persona. When they walk in a room, it's just over for everybody else. You put a good record with that, put them out at the right time, which also matters. All the other niggas in the community that might rap better than him, all bets are off. It's his time, and the only thing that can ruin this person's time is them or the people around them. So I say all of that to say, Benny the Butcher, as talented as you are, and I am a fan, the reason why you and other people like you are not dictating what's going on in the game is because you just don't have it. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm transparent enough to say I just don't got it. And I didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still damn good at what I do. I share it. I still get paid to make music. Y'all love it. I'm still going to continue to put it out and do what I want with it. I make music on my own terms. I release it on my own terms. I'm happy. I live a fucking dope life. Right? But if you want to know why you're not the guy, the answer is within that own sentence. You're not the guy. You know what I'm saying? Because tomorrow, another street guy who has the magnetism, who has the right record at the right time, he's going to come out and he's going to surpass you. And you've been doing it for 20 years. And he might be on his first or second or third. And he's going to go right past you because he has the intangibles that you don't. You know what I'm saying? And you know who's going to make that decision on whether or not they pop? The nerds. The people who buy it. The people who go to the shows. The people that buy the merch. The people who are willing to look at the guy and say, I value what it is that he brings to the table. Not, oh, fuck that nigga, I rap too. Not, oh, I could do that. I rap better than him. But the people that's gonna say, take my money. You ain't got enough people to say, take my money. That's the problem. And it's going to always be a problem. And you just gotta accept that. You know what I'm saying? You're successful still. And I'll take it even further with Benny the Butcher. You fucked up. At the height of your popularity, as people were getting ready to see, damn, what's Benny the Butcher gonna do? 2-3 years ago? What did you do? You went and signed with motherfucking Def Jam. Def Jam is a fucking graveyard. It's been a graveyard for the last 12, 13 years. And I've told this to anybody with an open ear that'll listen. I probably got at least 10 videos that somebody could pull up on hand of me saying, Def Jam is in shambles. Why the fuck would you go over there? They've done nothing but ruin niggas' careers since 2009. Now you might say, well, Kanye was there. Yeah, he was one of the last of the Mohicans. Pusha T, grandfathered in good music Kanye. Anybody not associated with good music on Def Jam in the last decade and a half failed. Ask Bobby Sessions. Y'all probably don't even fucking know who Bobby Sessions is. Def Jam. Ask Big Crit. Niggas done forgot who the fuck Big Crit is and all the talent that he came into the game with, writing, rapping, producing his own shit. Def Jam. And you let Snoop convince your ass. Snoop, for all of the legendary music, for all of the iconic positioning that he represented in this game for almost 3 decades, for a long time, Snoop has been a fucking grifter. And we just gotta come to terms of the reality of this. Because he took a position over there at Def Jam. He was the one that convinced you to sign over there. And where the fuck he been at? That nigga he revamped Death Row, took a job at Def Jam to recruit artists, and ain't did shit with none of the niggas. And been pushing Death Row ever since. And been pushing any and everything that's gonna line his pockets or the interests of his investments. You got duped. And it wasn't no fucking nerds that did it, because you got gooped by Snoop, the OG gangster. So don't come around here talking about that shit, man. Like, we just got to come to terms with sometimes it just ain't your time. You get what I'm saying? It's the toughest pill to swallow. But if you have self-awareness and you can be real with yourself and look yourself in the mirror and be real about that shit, you can move forward in life so peacefully and sleep so much better than to be out here blaming this one, that one, this one, that one. When really God's plan for you is the life that you're living. And maybe one day you may catch a hit or catch the break on God's timing if you're willing to follow the journey that God has paved for you. I don't want to make this a religious thing, but truthfully, if your mind, body, and soul are not in alignment with where you're supposed to be going, how could you possibly be moving correctly if everything in you is disjointed? You've been elevated to this point and you still talking about the streets? You think the streets supposed to, what do the streets know about the music industry to dictate what's going on? It's 2025. The streets ain't even valid to people that mature past it. Like once you hit 18, 19 years old and you really got to figure out your life, you ain't living at your parents' crib or you living in your parents' crib and they say you need a fucking job or you need something productive, take your ass to school. That gangster shit go out the window. Now, some people will pursue it past that. And guess what's going to happen to them? The world is going to pursue past them. And they're going to be stuck at that same age, 18, 19, 20 years old. They're going to turn 35 and mentally still be that same person. The shit is a trap. So, yes, the nerds do run it. The nerds been running it. The nerds is the ones who come in and read your paperwork, ain't it? When you can't read and decipher what the fuck is on the page, who finna tell you what it say? Who finna tell you what's gonna be best for your benefit moving forward with this career? Not no street nigga. So yeah, the nerds been running it. The nerds been doing the side deals from day one. The nerds been the ones, they say, oh, we got a lawyer for you. And it's the lawyer that they've been doing dirty ass deals with for the last 10, 15 years. And he gonna say, yep, beautiful deal. 5 years down the line, it turned out that beautiful deal was really a beast. Cause you didn't know that the nerds been lining your ass up. Crazy ass. These fashion labels that y'all niggas be so obsessed with. Who you think run that? Street niggas? No, nerds. Everything you aspire to in your fucking life is either commissioned, sponsored, or paid for by the nerds. You got the game fucked up, brother. But I'll even be lenient and say, maybe there was a time. But you should have been paying attention when Jay-Z told you the streets is dead. Jay-Z told us streets dead, what, 6, 7 years ago? He said the shit dead. That nigga told you on 444 not to die for the neighborhood your mama rent in. You weren't paying attention. But you done had all these dinners with Jay-Z that people would die for. You ain't been paying no fucking attention. Look at all the so-called street niggas in his circle that have elevated their lives for the last 20 plus years. Yeah, they might have had bread, but they ain't had that type of bread. They ain't had that type of lifestyle. Y'all niggas been tricked. Y'all been duped and gooped. And before I go, I see you trying to goop niggas too. Right? Just about a week ago, you went viral for doing this feature challenge. So Benny the Butcher came out and he said, yo, I'm going to do a free verse for an artist. Send me a song with an open verse on it, but send me $100 as entry fee. Right?
Hey, yo, it's Big Butch, and I got another one for all my grinders. This is what we gonna do. Thank me later for this shit, man. You gonna get a free verse, a free video, and you get to come to the show and open up. And we gonna put the record out on Black Soprano Records. All you gotta do is send your song to the email and $100 to the Cash App, and you win there. And may the best man win. I hope y'all ready, because this is a big deal, especially if you're an up-and-coming artist trying to get your music out. Trust me, man. I wish somebody was doing this for me when I came up. Let's go.
So $100, right? And Benny the Butcher has over 900,000 followers on Instagram whom he promoted this to, right? He's going to do one song. Now, of course, I don't believe that all 900,000 would possibly submit for $100. But I would say probably 500 or so probably did at that rate. You know what I'm saying? At that $100 rate. Which if you put that together, that's $50,000 in his pocket just to do one verse for one artist. You know what I'm saying? So you got paid 50 racks from hundreds of people to select one. And under normal circumstances, your feature price probably wouldn't even amount to 50 grand. Now, let's say 1,000 or 2,000 people reached out at that $100 price tag. That goes up even further, right? Off of the chance, the opportunity. Now, just think about how many people submitted to that and how many of them are so-called nerds. Because those are the people following you. Right? How many of them are street niggas? How many of them are nerds? It's going to be a lot of nerds that sent you songs hoping that they could get that feature that you're not going to do. You know what I'm saying? $100 fee for entry. I see the hustle. But you don't respect the nerds, so of course you're going to take advantage of niggas that don't know no better. Plus, you say you're going to put the song out on your label, which means you're going to take ownership over that nigga song that they made on their own, that they created before you even got to it. You're probably going to take the majority of the royalties if it generates any, because it's coming out on your label. So, although it may look great on the surface to get a feature from Benny the Butcher, for whomever it is that cares, I would love to see what that paperwork entails in order to actually get that feature out professionally. Just my insight as somebody who knows better. Okay? Not going to harbor too long on that. Y'all can deduce what you want. But that's just my 2 cents about it. I've been seeing this video circulating and I said, you know what? I got to speak on this one. Even if it ain't a lot of people that tune in, the ones that do, we'll walk away with something. All right? Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. And I will catch y'all on the next one, man. Y'all be good out there. Peace.
Yeah, family over fame in this bitch, yeah. The glory of living righteous is setting in. My street knowledge and education's a perfect blend. Young mogul, independent, I've been setting trends. The first one from my family to be faithfully wed. Fuck niggas and the horses that they riding on. I see this shit from all angles like a polygon. I'm never politicking, the drama be piling on. Father and great son acknowledged like I'm Bobby Bonds. Conversation with my lady about the paper route. 5 sit bank accounts, every day I make it count. They down talking my commentary for hating now. Well, I can take it cause I'm bodying your favorite now, please. I can do this shit in my sleep. I been writing for these niggas, y'all read it and weep. I been fighting these niggas if you speak on the street. I turn your birthday party into New Year's Eve. Don't let me take it there. We ain't playing fair. This the ATL, Southside nigga moving furniture like Wayfair. Life on hold, no insurance for your healthcare. Lifeline gone, so you wanna be a millionaire? Well, let me tell you about this world I built. The women I dodged, the niggas that